Shalom, Israel. Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises to Yahawah, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, BAHASHAM HaChak Barakatah Yahawah, Barakatah YAHAWASHI, Barakatah HaChak Call Halal, Yahawah, BAHASHAM, HaMashiach YAHAWASHI. This is my third time doing this video. For those that have been watching my YouTube videos, you can see that there was a video that was posted that lasted 3 minutes and 19 seconds. And I said in the comment section that the video lasted longer than that. It lasted it should have been 30 minutes, or longer, right? I believe it should have been 30 minutes or longer, but, Satan is messing with the videos. My service was going out. Everything was going out, man, but we're going to keep rebuking Hasatan, man, Satan, because he wants to destroy, the things of this truth, in which he can't, because nothing could come against this truth before the truth, okay? And that's the things that's going on. I'm going to keep calling to Yahawah BaHaShem. I prayed over this because it was pissing me off. It was irritating me. And I'm like, and I try to, record the video again, and the video wouldn't get recorded again. And it said something about, the data wasn't saved or something along those lines. And I'm like, are you serious? I just did another long-winded video to bring out the information on a certain thing that Saudi Arabia, Turkey, and Pakistan, when they made the Mecca Defense Pact, right? They invited Iran or Iran to join, this defense pact, to join it. So, I got excited and I was like, all praises to Yahawah BaHaShem. This is prophecy. This is a major prophecy coming to pass in the earth, because this is talking about 2nd Ezra chapter 15, where it talks about the Carmanians, right? And the dragons of Arabia joining together to destroy a portion of the land of the Assyrians, which is Babylon the Great, spiritual Sodom and Egypt, which is America, due to this wickednesses. So I brought out Psalms chapter 7 to talk about the missiles. I brought out, when it talk about wet the sword. I brought out Job chapter 20, where it talks about when he thinks to fill his belly, then the Most High shall bring sudden destruction upon him. I brought out Revelation 18, proving that Babylon, being America, will be destroyed by those thermonuclear destruction. I brought out Revelation chapter 6 to get that same understanding. Salakia, got hiccups now. I brought out these same things, okay? And Satan keep trying to stop the word of Yahawah BaHaShem. But I prayed. When I came outside, I prayed over it, man. And, because again, like I said, my phone wasn't trying to screen record anything. So I prayed over it and I believed, and I went to go check, and now I can screen record again. So Lord willing, this screen recording goes out and I can be able to post it. I'm gonna bring out a couple of things, okay? Now I got hiccups, like I said, I'm gonna drink some water later, but I'm gonna bring out a couple of things, man. I ain't gonna let nothing, no infirmity, no sickness, no anything stop this word, man. We cannot. We gotta continue to endure, you brothers and you few sincere sisters, and continue to endure to the end. Continue to keep the faith in Yahawah BaHaShem, because the devil knows his time is short, right? And the spiritual demon Satan also, is being used to what? Keep us at bay, right? To keep us, not to keep us from ceasing this truth. To keep us to cease this truth, okay? To keep us from speaking the word of Yahawah BaHaShem, our power, the creator of the universe. You understand? The creator of all things. All right? Now, as you see here, this is where I went to. Saudi Arabia, Turkey, and Pakistan invited Iran to join the newly established Mecca Defense Pact. Okay? And this is a major prophecy, because it's going into a very terrible time, a very terrible judgment for America that's about to come. Okay? A great destruction is coming to this place by fire and brimstone via those missiles. Now, I looked up who are the Carmanians according to 2nd Ezra chapter 15. They say they are a warlike tribe who live Okay? I'll just bring out a couple of scriptures as I went here. Of course, I went to Revelations 19 to also prove in Joel chapter 3 how the Lord is going to bring down the nations of the kings to the valley of Jehoshaphat. How he said he moves the minds of the kings. I believe that's in Proverbs 29, if I'm not mistaken. How the king's hearts, the Lord moves as the rivers of water, okay? Meaning that he's moving the minds of these nations and these kingdoms to join together or to fight against one another. Because all of these nations ultimately have put their hand upon Israel, the Most High's, the apple of his eye, okay, upon you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans during the sub-Saharan slave trade and the Atlantic slave trade, okay? And they have all put, you know, their hand in our destruction and in our captivity. They have all been, you know, paid, you know, for it. So the Lord is going to pay them all back by having them to fight against one another. But the main corporate is America, where Edom dwells, okay? The so-called white man, Esau, you know, with the ruling powers and families like the Rockefellers and the Rothschilds, you know, have pushed, you know, the so-called Amalekites, the ones that let it call themselves the small hats, you know, have pushed, you know, their wickedness upon our people, forwarding it, you know, by putting money into the wars that they do. And these other nations are now waking up from the drunkenness of the wine of her fornication, like it's written in Revelation 17 and 18. And they're now starting to see how wicked this place is and the much destruction that it is causing, you know, in the earth. You know, to the Most High's chosen people first, but also in the earth in general. And the Lord is going to show how this place is going to be ravished and destroyed, okay? In a great peril, a great destruction that people are not paying attention to. This is why I say that this is a major prophecy. At the time that I was going to post this, I was posting at the time that this post, you know, kind of came out. But now, you know, I'm a little later in, but I'm still, this is my third time recording this video, and I'm going to continue to record it because this is the truth. And I'm not about to let Satan stop this word. So call Lord YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHWASHI BARAKATAH YAHAWAH BARAKATAH YAHWASHI BARAKATAH WAHAK that I'm able to AhBa RaTazah, that I'm able to push this word out, okay, and push this video out for all my brothers and sisters to see that they endure to the end. And again, our time is short, man. You know, we're rejoicing. When it said that the devil know that his time is short, that he's going to bring great wrath upon the people, it's talking about Esau. Because they're going to bring great wrath, you know what I'm saying, upon all their citizens here in Babylon, here in America, you know, and especially upon us as teaching this truth, that's speaking against this beast system, you know, that's trying to push this wicked agenda that they're trying to do with this mark of the beast, okay, which is not going to work. That's what our Lord said. When you think to fill up his belly, he's going to destroy them, so-called, roughly paraphrasing, with the glittering sword, you know, that glittering spear that's going to come out the gall, the body and the gall, right? And it's going to strike them through, and they're going to be melt away, like the scriptures say, okay, the instruments of war, all right? And I showed you how in the ICBM missiles, where in Revelation chapter 6, okay, where it talks about them, the stars falling from heaven and it being rolled as a scroll, okay? Now, the reason why I'm speaking so quickly about these things is because these are the things that I truly, you know, was happily bringing out. And now I'm bringing it out quickly, okay? Roughly paraphrasing, bringing out the scriptures that's coming straight to my mind that I used previously in the other two videos, okay? Well, really, I would say this is my fourth time recording, because the first time I recorded a video, it didn't record all of it, okay? The second time, it didn't record none of it. The first time, it just recorded 3 minutes of it. The second time, it recorded none of it. The third time, it recorded some of it, and this is really just the fourth time now, okay? And I pray that this video goes out, okay? You know, so keep praying for one another, man, that we able to continuously push this word out, because the famine of the word is coming, man, you know? But I'm not about to let the spiritual demon, Satan, the spiritual enemy, you know, stop this work, okay? Because we're going to keep pushing this thing out. We're going to keep enduring it to the end, because this is the work that our Lord YAHAWASHI commanded us to do, to preach, to watch, and pray, and prophesy, okay? So, and look at that, 144. Call Lord YAHAWAH BAHASHAM, HaMashiach YAHWASHI, AhBa RaTazah, that we be of the elect, and that we be delivered up in them chariots. Even if we're not of the number of the 144, Lord willing, we be of the 1/3. You know, I always say to myself, you know, even from the last one, you know what I'm saying, to get into that chariot, however it's going to go down, you know, Lord willing, you know, just that we be of the deliverance. That's all that matters, okay? Being delivered under the mercy of Yahawah BAHASHAM In. So always pray that the Holy Spirit be upon you, brothers and sisters, okay? Again, what I showed you there, it's a major prophecy. It's nothing to play around with. We are at the end, so don't give up. Satan is going to keep trying to attack you and deal with you in ways, you know, saying that, you know, that's going to piss you off and irritate you, but you got to keep pushing. You got to keep enduring, right? You know, got to keep pushing, man. So let's get, you know, because all the scriptures I brought out, like I said, I brought out Psalms chapter 7, Job chapter 20, Revelation chapter 6, Revelation chapter 18, Revelation chapter 19, Joel chapter 3. You can all write this down. These are the scriptures that I used, right, to push the understanding of what's coming in. And I started the video off with 2nd Ezra chapter 15, I believe verse 29 and on down, to get into the understanding of the dragons of Arabia. That's Saudi Arabia, right? That's all the Islamic, that's the whole Islamic world, okay? Saudi Arabia, Pakistan, Turkey. I knew Turkey was going to get involved because Turkey is now at war with Israel. We said this before. You know, the Islamic world is at war with Edom, with Esau, okay? And their heads. And they're clashing in different parts. But Russia, like the Lord said, Magog, right, shall be used to help the smaller people, right? The Lord said he's going to put hooks in their jaws and he's going to move them to be a guard unto these people, roughly paraphrasing, right? No, he said he shall make them a guard unto them. Let me see if I can get that actually. He said hooks in thy jaws. Hold on, hooks in thy jaws. Here you go right here, Ezekiel 38, okay, in verse 4. But let's start from verse 3. It says, and say, thus saith the Lord Yahawah, behold, I am against thee, O Gog, the chief prince of Meshech and Tabal, right? Which is talking about Russia, okay? And I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws. It means the Lord is moving them, okay? It says, and I will bring thee forth and all thy army and horses and horsemen. That means all your hosts, all your artillery, right? Okay, your whole military. And all thy army, horses and horsemen, and all them clothed with this, all sorts of armor, right? Because remember, the Lord is showing Ezekiel, you know, the understanding of what's going on. So the Lord is using them, okay, with all the armor technology that they have, okay? It says, even a great company with bucklers and shields. And of course, it's not literally coming with bucklers and shields, you know. But when you think about the buckler, okay, the buckler is a smaller shield, you know, where they also use to, you know, punch their enemies and things, you know, to strike quickly. You know, when you use a buckler, you can also use it as a small shield, but also to strike quickly, okay? It says, and all of them handling swords. Persia, that's modern day Iran, okay? Ethiopia, Libya, with them and all them with shield and helmet. Gomer and all his bands in the house of Togarmah and the north quarters and all his bands and many people with thee, okay? So that's all of these, you know, Islamic and even some of these, you know, Hamitic, you know, nations that the Lord is going to use to bring what? Destruction upon, you know, to issue, you know, to bring them down to the valley of Jehoshaphat as well, to bring them into the war, okay? And they're going to fight against Esau, you know, and this is at the time where eventually Russia, China, NATO and the EU, Iran and other countries, you know, like Pakistan, they're going to be used to destroy what? America, okay? They're going to obliterate this place, full obliteration, all right? It says, be thou prepared and prepare for thyself, thou and all thy company that are assembled unto thee, and be thou a guard unto them. See that? And the Lord is making Russia a guard unto these people. That's why they got BRICS Nation. And now you got the Islamic world making their own pact. And now they're trying to say, hey, Iran, hey, Iran, hey, come on, join the team, you know? And now they saying Iran is considering it. And also, there was another post I wanted to show y'all as well, where Iran said that, you know, they're going to do a surprise attack in October. You know, this is what they say they're saying. So, you know, who knows what's going to go down in the next few months and weeks, okay? But time is short. Time is speeding up. As we walk day to day, as we go to sleep, as we eat, you know, we take showers and things of that nature, you know. We see these times coming to pass, so watch, all right? Watch the times. And don't give up on the faith. Continue to endure to the end. And with that, I'm going to say shalom.